Dhani watches a lot of television and movies. John does not. Listen in as she tells him about what she's watching, and he tries to make sense of it all. Welcome to Watching My Stories with Dhani and John.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Dhani. Sorry, Roxy just growled if you can't hear.
And I'm John.
She has the best timing.
She was ready to start the show.
Yeah. I don't even see anything that she's barking at.
Okay.
Welcome to Watching My Stories.
Hi, everybody.
So I think we took the last couple weeks off. I didn't have a whole lot to do or talk about, but I've been building up, and now I have way too much to talk about this week.
It's feast or famine.
So there's a lot of new shows starting still. So I'm just going to touch on new shows that I'm interested in or what my thoughts are. But I do have some movies to talk about first. And then when we get to the Actors Corner, we are going to discuss Cameron Diaz.
Yes.
We said last time we were just going to randomly kind of pick someone out of the guide. I closed my eyes. I scrolled around. I landed on Very Bad Things, a movie I love. And she's not in it that much, but that's what I decided to do.
Predictably, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, very good. Sorry, I had the hiccups. Okay, so we're going to get started. And the first movie I'm going to talk about is Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay.
This is the sequel, obviously, to Zombieland. I'm a huge fan of the original. It's so much fun. If it's on, I watch it.
I'm conflicted because, any movie that kills Bill Murray, that's a tough one. Although, the new Ghostbusters did. And I guess I didn't have a problem with it. So. Yeah. It's
such an integral scene and part of it, and it's brought up in the sequel.
And he did take it well. So,
Well, he did. Yeah, but it's funny because I'll get to that.
Okay.
So the second one takes place, however many years it's been, our foursome of Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin are still together, still kind of looking for that home, and they settle in on the White House in the very beginning. So they live in the White House, and they're just having a good time, kind of being a family, being safe, and things change. And Abigail Breslin is growing up. She wants to she's bored. She wants to find people of her own age. So she takes off, and that's kind of where we then start this, next road trip, kind of like the first one. And we find new people along the way. So they find Rosario Dawson.
There you go.
They come across her, and while they're with her, Luke Wilson and Tom Middleditch shows up, which is one of the most hysterical acts of the movie because they are dressed like and act exactly like Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg. And so they're mirroring each other, and it's very funny. And then a whole thing shows up with zombies and stuff, and it just gets funnier and funnier. But when they meet up with Rosario, they're in this house walking around, and she almost kills one of them. She goes, "Oh my God, you guys, I almost murrayed you." And they're like, "What?" Oh. And she's like, "I heard of a tale that someone killed Bill Murray because they thought he was a zombie, and I'm going to kill whoever killed Bill Murray, And so it's like this kind of legend now in Zombieland.
Sure.
So they come across all those people. The best part, and I think I say this every time I see her in anything, Zoe Deutsch is in this. Mm-hmm. Every time you guys have heard me talk about her, I can't get enough of her. She brightens up every single thing that she's in. And I know she did a really dark role, and I still haven't seen that movie. But my God, she's hysterical in this. And one of the reasons I was dying to see this was because in the trailer, she was cracking me up. Mm-hmm. She's so funny in this. And here's the thing. She's just so good. She's so good in everything she does. Mm-hmm. And in this, she's supposed to be this, airhead, bubbly persona, but she is not annoying. She is not, it doesn't get old. You know what I mean? Like, she can pull it off in a way that it's still endearing and lovely and fresh. And I always use the term fresh with her because every time I see her, it feels that way. I feel like I'm getting a breath of fresh air with her, whatever she does. And I'm going to talk about her again. And when I talk about The Politician, she's in that. And it's the same thing. It's just like when she comes on screen, I'm so happy. And so in case people don't remember, she's Leah Thompson's daughter who, you know, I was a fan of Leah Thompson. I mean, who wasn't back in the 80s, 90s, you know, but this girl has got something that her mom never had. I mean, I think a lot of people thought that about her. She was also that kind of sweet, endearing person, but nothing like what Zoe's got. And she sings in The Politician's got a gorgeous voice. And I mean, so it's, you like ride or die now. I think I will watch anything she's in. I really there's been 5 or 6 things and I just can't get enough.
Okay, cool.
So she's hysterical in it. She brings a whole new dynamic to this crew because she adds on to their crew. And she becomes a whole different thing. And again, the whole point is they're looking for a place to be safe. They kind of find it, but not really. But it's nice to where they were alone in the first movie. It was really just the 4 of them. They really do come across a lot of other people, and the zombies are evolving. There's now these new zombies that don't die very easily. And so they have to evolve as to how to kill all these new kinds of zombies. So it's fun. It's funny. The characters are just great, which we established in the first one. It's not as good as the first because to me, the first one was so... it was different. It was so different than any other zombie movie we had seen that you can't get back that feeling of seeing this for the first time. But it was fantastic just being right back there. And we start right in the beginning of just going for it, and we're right there, and we go on the ride, and it's so much about family and what is family and how you create your family, especially in a situation like this. Right. So I loved it. Everyone's great in it. You can't go wrong. If you love the first one, you will love the second one. Again, it's not going to be as much, but it's a fantastic sequel. Okay, good. And Bill Murray's in it again. Spoiler. Well, he's on IMDb, and so stick around for the end. That's all. Okay. I'm saying. Okay. So that's Zombieland Double Tap. Now I'm going to move on to the Netflix movie that came out last week, the Breaking Bad movie, El Camino. Oh, okay. Obviously, highly anticipated. Been waiting 5 years for this, and it lived up to all of that. Really? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So I have to say, when it was coming to the end, I was a little bummed out because I really wanted Walt. Like, we weren't really told if Walter White had died or not. And it was kind of left up to us. Did we want him to die right there at the end of the series, or did we want him to get captured and maybe go to jail and all that sort of stuff, and or my thing was always getting him free and he could just live, but anyway. So right from the beginning, really, they tell us that he died. And so right in the beginning, you're kind of like, okay, so we're not going to be seeing him, so let me readjust my brain because that's really what I wanted. But by the time it was done, I realized, no, this is actually what I wanted or needed. Oh, okay. This is what I needed. It was, so the series is Walter White. Jesse was always in there. Jesse had amazing stories. And for Walter at the end, if you guys haven't watched the show, that's on you. You've had 5 years to catch up. So spoilers. At the end of the episode, at the end of the series, for Walter to go and rescue Jesse, who had been held captive by those neo-Nazis, we were just happy Jesse got away. We all sat there and we're just like, yay, he got out. He's going to go live his life. We're thrilled. But they gave us what happens next. I mean, we literally start with him in that car driving away. And, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So this was really a 2-hour episode of... It could have been 2 hours just on the end of the last season. Okay. To just tell us what happens with Jesse. And it was perfection. It was so wonderful because we got to see him go back to his friends Badger and Skinny Pete, and for them to help him out. And there were actual lovely, lovely, wonderful moments with that. seeing how he's going to get away. We got to go to flashbacks for when he was held captive with Jesse Plemons, who played Todd, who was just the greatest psychopath in history. Going to these flashbacks to see what he went through, see what was going on when he was held captive, which we weren't told before, because that's helping him now escape in a way. And you fall right back into that of, okay, we just want Jesse to get away. We just want him to be happy. We need him to be happy, that sort of thing. Because we always felt like he was somewhat innocent in this. And it was always, for me at least, it was always that question of, what is Walter's relationship with him? What does he really feel for Jesse? Because he belittled him and berated him so much of the time, but he always looked out for him, and he always saved him, always took care of him, thought he was doing the best by him, even if it meant his girlfriend dying in front of him or poisoning a little boy. He went about it in a weird way, but we never really knew. I could still never grasp that relationship. And I know Jesse never could either. He thought Walt hated him. He never really got it. So anyway, so we get to see Jesse go through this whole process of how's he going to get money to get out. Robert Forster, who died the day that the movie came out, played a big role again. He was the guy who got Walt and Saul Goodman out of town. And so Jesse goes back to him for help. But the best part about it was towards the end, we really had great flashbacks. And there is a flashback with Walt. So the two of them got to film a whole nother scene. It was a very poignant scene. Another one of those where we're assuming Walt has affection for Jesse in a very father-son manner. He's trying to talk to him about what is his life going to be. Is he going to go to college? What is he going to do with his life? You've got potential. He's like building him up. And it was a great scene for them to create for us to kind of go to that relationship and say, yeah, he had those moments where he was very endearing to him. So we got a flashback with Mike, Jonathan Banks, with a good conversation with them. And then at the end, as Jesse is at the end and he's driving and stuff, he has a flashback to Kristen Ritter, his girlfriend Jane, who overdosed, who Walt stood there while she died.
Right.
And she's sitting in the car with him and she's telling him as well, you create your own destiny, you create your own fate, make your own choices in life, that sort of thing. And it was just, it was all very poignant. It was very well done. It was just as good as the whole series was, which is super, super difficult to do. A series that's as top notch as that. It's almost like expecting, like if Mad Men came out with a movie, like you'd think, no, there's no way to do that. Or even Downton Abbey with the movie that we enjoyed, you think you can't do it. Because again, with a movie, they usually try to crush so much stuff into it.
Yeah, there's typically a lot more downside than there is, benefit. And for somebody to nail it and get it right, that's pretty rare.
Yeah, and it was almost, like I said, by the end of it, I didn't realize it's exactly what I needed. But that's what they knew. They knew this is what we needed. We needed this extra closure on Jesse.
Sure.
And boy, did we got it in spades. He comes out of this on top, even though we know he has so much baggage. He is carrying so much stuff. But for him to have those moments at the end of freedom, it's just... it's a better feeling than we felt at the end of the series when he was driving away, because now we really know what he went through and we're still seeing him get out.
It sounds like it's the Jesse post Walter White that you hoped for. Yeah,
it's those extra 2 episodes that I didn't know had to happen, but I'm so glad they did. It was really just it was so much closure. I mean, they can still do more, I'm good with that. But for now, it was really good. And Aaron Paul really did a great job of carrying the whole movie. He did a great job.
Cool.
Yeah. So again, any kind of Breaking Bad fan, you've already watched it, but definitely check it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next movie is a Netflix movie called In the Tall Grass.
I haven't even heard of this one.
Yeah, no one has. and no one should.
Oh, okay. And it turns out there's reason for it, huh?
Yeah, it was, I watched it because it was based on a novella, I think they call it, really,
Okay.
by Stephen King and his son. So I was like, oh, Stephen King, we're gearing up for Halloween. I'm going to watch this. And the trailer looks great. Like it's a tall grass field in Kansas, and people go into it because they're hearing people scream for help. I'm lost. And then they get lost. And then all this weird stuff starts happening. There's a creepy little kid, So I was like, oh cool.
I think I remember you watched this last weekend, didn't you?
I think so.
Yeah, because I remember I was in the other room and I remember hearing somebody say, well, I'm over here.
Right.
I'm right here. I can hear you.
Yeah,
but...
it was that for an hour and a half.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a great concept. I really wanted to enjoy it. The first half hour was really good. Patrick Wilson is the only name in it. But after that first half hour, then it became tedious, and they weren't getting to the point.
They went too far with it.
And I wanted to shut it off, but I also kept going, I need to know what this is now. I need to know what's happening here, because there's like a rock in the middle of it, and it was weird, and not weird in like the way I enjoy. By the end of it, I was like, seriously, I just spent an hour and a half watching that. Like,
hour and a half, you'll never get back. Huh?
The payoff was not at all good enough.
Yeah.
For what I considered a really cool concept. It didn't explain itself well enough, and not that weird stuff explains itself, but it should have.
Okay.
It could have. So I'm saying skip it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
In the tall grass.
I was going to watch it, but no.
The next one is another Netflix movie that came out last week called Fractured. This one is Sam Worthington and Lily Rabe are in it. And again, trailer looks great. A family, they're traveling on a highway. They stop at a gas station. The little girl their daughter gets hurt. So they go to a hospital. They take the mom and daughter away. And all of a sudden, now the husband's like, where's my family? And they're like, we didn't treat them. We don't know what you're talking about. You're imagining everything, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay, this is cool. Again, I love those things missing and all those things.
Sounds familiar.
There's been different iterations of this where the family disappears and the husband's like, wait a minute, they were just here, First off, Sam Worthington, I did not enjoy his performance whatsoever. It was very weird. And again, it got really tedious, but I kept going, I think I know the ending, so I want to stick around and see if I'm right. So I did stick with it. I kept watching. I think I actually fast forwarded through some of it in the middle
just to find out if you were right.
Just to find out if I really guessed it. And here's the thing, I was wrong. So the last 5 minutes, when they finally tell us what's going on, I had no clue. I did not know that's what happened.
That's pretty rare for you.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that, but it was a long trip to get there.
Okay, so you enjoyed that 5 minutes, but you didn't enjoy it retroactively, huh?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not go back and watch it. It would be hard for me to even tell. Like, I think my sister was interested in watching it, and I texted her and I just said, she said she had started it. I said, yeah, unless you're just going to kind of fast forward to the ending, it doesn't make.
Just watch.
It's
Wayward
not really
Pines
worth
over
it.
Again.
Oh, well, that was a good show. So.
That's what I mean.
So I don't think it's worth it to me. I would, again, if you wanted to watch the first half hour, maybe skip through or do something else while the middle part's going on and then watch the ending. Because it was a good twist, but they just didn't. And again, his performance was completely pulling me out of it. And maybe that was to kind of clue us in as to what was going on, but it didn't do that for me. So
there's plenty of other good stuff on TV to not have to sit through this just for that good 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay. So that's that. That's the end of the movies. So now we're going to move on to TV.
Woohoo!
All right. So these are all mostly new shows. So I've only seen 1 or 2 episodes, but I just wanted to touch on them like I did previously. So the first show is Almost Family. This is the show with Brittany Snow and Timothy Hutton.
Yeah.
So we've had 2 episodes. The first episode was pretty good. The problem I'm having now is, what do you do? You know what I mean? So the premise of it is Timothy Hutton was this big to-do doctor who who helped people get pregnant, artificial insemination and all that sort of stuff. And then it comes out that at some point 20, 30 years ago, he started using his own sperm as samples for all these people. So now there's tons of siblings out there to Brittany Snow, who plays his daughter. Emily Osment is one of them, is one of her sisters, and Megalyn, I don't even want to try and pronounce her last name because I know I'll screw it up. But you know her. She's Chris Rock's girlfriend.
Okay.
But it's I feel so bad. It's Etchikunwoke. I don't know. And I'm sorry, Megalyn, but she's gorgeous and she's been in a million things. People know her. Anyway, so that's another sister that she found out she had. And there's drama within all of that. And that's great. And then there's other people that are showing up saying, hey, now I'm your sibling. And now the Institute is, because he's now getting prosecuted. So he's no longer there. And Brittany Snow's having to run the Institute and all this sort of stuff. It's just, what's going to like, how much can we spend on, well, I don't want you to be my sister. Well, I don't want you to be my, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what drama keeps happening here that doesn't become repetitive or,
Well, this has been a problem with television for a little while now.
Yeah.
Is that, it's pretty rare to have a fresh concept. Right, that's some version of something that's been done either in a movie or another series or a kind of a combination of stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're putting a lot of stuff, maybe not so much on Netflix and the streaming services, but broadcast TV is still putting stuff on where you look at it and the first couple are good, and then it starts to turn a little bit, and then you wonder, well, did they think past the first 6 episodes?
Right.
Did they
Most
even
of them
plan?
don't think past the pilot, honestly, because they just need to sell the show. So they put everything into the pilot, and then they don't know where they're going after that.
Right, but that just helps you appreciate the people like Michael Schur and Vince Gilligan and those people that plan out the entire series, whether it's going to be 5 or 6 years.
Right.
They plan out the entire series, so you know that there's something there.
Right.
You may not, at some point, you may not like parts of it, but it's not like getting to the 3rd or 4th episode and you realize these people are out of ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's so annoying.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it is always on network television. Especially, look, they've got 20 to 24 episodes in a season too, which is also crazy because that's how.
No, I understand.
Because that's how it still is. At some point, the networks are going to start, and they already kind of are. Like Good Place only does 13, 14.
Yeah.
Will and Grace only does 10 to 14. So they're coming around to that. But there are still a lot that they still want a full season from, and that's real. Again, ones that have like I'm going to talk about Arrow in a bit. We're in our 8th year. 8 years of 22 episodes a season. That's really difficult to do and keep it at a level where every week I want to keep watching.
100%.
I can even talk about Grey's Anatomy because they're in their 14th year or whatever it is, 15th year. And I still, every week, every year, I'm still in it. So it's, is it getting...
But for you, that's mostly about the characters and not...
Well, that's what you're watching television for.
Well, no. I've got to argue with that a little bit. No, I don't think so. I watch television. Sure, sometimes I get so invested in the characters I don't care what happens or what they do. But for the most part, the storylines have to keep me. And that's why I don't watch a lot of procedural shows, cop shows, lawyer shows, medical shows, that sort of thing, because it's kind of the same stuff over again. Just a different combination or a slightly different twist or something like that. But I mean,
no, I'll disagree with that too because I'm an avid SVU watcher and they're in their 25th season. I don't even know, but 20 something season, and still, again, we're in our new season. We've had 3 episodes. I don't even know. Every single one has been super compelling. This last week was so amazing, and that's okay for the procedural. It's almost easier for them because that ripped from the headlines deal. They can just pull something out, and those detectives are all, we know them. We're with them. We know what they're going to feel for these victims. And so, it really comes down to you have to have the right characters and you have to have the right storyline, the right writing.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really matter what the subject matter is, as long as all of that's good.
Right.
This is a good concept for Almost Family. It makes it, I immediately, my subject matter goes to the movie Delivery Man, which is a fantastic movie.
That's the first thing I thought of. Yeah.
For people who don't like Vince Vaughn, screw you and go watch the movie because it's a fantastic movie. You will cry.
Yes. You will have all the feels
yes.
from that movie, and I can speak as somebody who's not very enamored with Vince Vaughn. I really enjoy that movie. I like that movie. That, to me, is Vince Vaughn at about his best.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's a wonderful story, and it's told really carefully and well. Mm-hmm. And this is, it's weird. Like one of the first things we're introduced to is, again, Brittany Snow's character. She works for her dad and, puts all her energy into work. And so supposedly all she can do is go to Tinder to have sex dates every once in a while. And that's how she gets her aggression out or something. It's like, again, one of these women who it's like, we can't do everything. We're either good at work or we're good at love. Like, you can't do both.
Brittany Snow shouldn't have to go to Tinder.
And so we see her having these things in the very beginning. Well, then it turns out one of these guys not only shows up with his wife, but he shows up because he's now her brother. So now it's like, oh, there's the drama. She had sex with her brother. And it's like, I get that. There's a lot of people out there and your dad did this, but it was just kind of like, okay, what's the next story though? Isn't there another, like Emily Osment's character? She, in the first step, she was a Olympic gymnast. She does way too many, like pain pills, oxy, and all that sort of stuff. Her parents just kind of throw her out there at events to make money. And she finds out she's now, a sister to Brittany Snow. And she's like a mess. But then this last episode, she was like, fine. And I'm like, what happened there? Just because now she knows who her father is, she's fine now, so I don't know. Here's the thing, because of the cast, I'm gonna keep watching it until I can't anymore, and I will obviously keep you all posted.
I put the over under at three more episodes before you can't.
We'll see. They might turn it around, and there
only
are
so much they can do.
There are shows that have done that, like Fringe. Fringe, the first 6-7 episodes was really not great, and then they got a new showrunner in, and it was the best show.
That's fine.
So,
they're so much more open there. Right?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
you could just come up with anything.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? This is kind of limited unless they start getting crazy.
Yeah.
This is kind of limited to that story.
Yeah.
And offshoots from it, but they're not, if they start doing Fringe stuff just to keep the show going, right? Well, they've lost it.
No, that's...
So I'll say 3 more episodes and you're done.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, next show I want to talk about is Batwoman. We've had 2 episodes of this.
Mm-hmm.
Stars Ruby Rose as Kate Kane, who plays Batwoman. Dougray Scott is her dad. There's a bunch of other people in this.
Uh-oh.
So everyone knows I'm a huge CW fan. I love the Arrowverse. Arrow is still my top show. Here's the thing. I have enjoyed Ruby Rose and other things.
Uh-huh.
She's not carrying this show well for me.
Okay.
She's making choices, or she's not making choices,
or she's given direction
that is not working for me.
Yeah.
I like the storyline that they're doing. Her sister her twin sister that she thought died when they were kids is now the villain of Gotham. Mm-hmm. And so you totally have this good and bad, right?
Well, there's lots of places for this thing to go. Right?
Exactly.
And a lot of ways for it to get there.
Exactly.
Sure.
So, and the people around her that are helping her, I really like I think they call him Lucas, is Lucius's son,
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Freeman's son from the movies. And so that was kind of cool. But the relationship with her and her dad got a little better in the last week, but I don't know. It's again, I think it would take a lot for me to stop watching this show just because I kind of am in the Arrowverse. So it gets a lot of leeway from me.
Understood. And I will say this about it because I caught about 5 minutes of it when I came in and you were watching it the other day. I think I completely understand what you're saying about Ruby Rose, and I like her. And even though I wasn't interested in watching the show, when I heard that she was going to be doing this, I thought, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I thought
she's
so too.
She's going to be great.
Right.
And the 5 or 7 minutes I saw of it, I don't know if it's an acting choice or direction or it was integral to the scene. I got the impression it wasn't. But she acted very disinterested in everything she was doing.
Yeah.
It was flat. It was dead.
Yeah.
And it was to me it was so noticeable. It kind of like it made me think.
It pulls you out.
Well, it made me think, whew, thank God I'm not watching this show.
Well, I also feel like it feels like she's focusing really hard on covering up her accent, which she's not doing a good job of. It comes out all the time.
Really?
But that's kind of what it feels like when someone she's like focusing, like, don't say the word this way, this way, this way, this way. And she can't do that and act at the same time.
Yeah. What? Okay, so what?
She's Australian.
Oh, she is. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, anyway, so that's Batman. I'll keep you posted.
Batwoman.
Or Batwoman, sorry. They are, and I was really excited because she was wearing Batman's costume, uniform, whatever you call it. And it wasn't Batwoman's, but they're actually bringing that back next episode where she's going to have the big bright red wig and stuff, which that kind of bothers me. I just wish she could just look like Batman, but they're going to give her the big wig and stuff. So whatever.
Wow.
I know it's iconic and it's what you have to do, but you know,
you can only drift so far from the actual comic before
Right.
people start to go, hey,
I know.
you know, this isn't Batwoman.
Well, and part of the thing is in these first couple episodes is everyone thinks Batman is back. So I think she's also going to do it to say, I am Batwoman and stop giving him credit for the stuff that I'm doing.
I'm Batwoman.
Yes.
I'm Batwoman.
She'll go, I'm Batwoman. That's how she'll deliver it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Except with a slightly
Sorry,
Australian
I really
accent.
do like Ruby Rose. I really do.
I do too, and I'm pulling for her.
I
and
am
look,
too.
If she's gone how many episodes? Two or three?
Two. And
Okay.
they've actually had to stop because she was in the hospital. She
That's
hurt
right.
herself. And so I don't, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but look, if she's from what I saw, it really almost had nowhere to go but up.
Right. That's exactly true.
So maybe she'll grow into it. Maybe
Right.
she'll figure it out.
Get more comfortable.
Or maybe
she's never carried anything like this.
Maybe this was some kind of conscious choice by the director or her to be this way, and then as soon as this suit is introduced, boom, she's dynamic or something. I don't know.
She was part of the crossover last year within the Arrowverse, and that didn't bother me. But again, she wasn't carrying it. She was part of the crew. She was, and it was a new character. We didn't really know, what she was supposed to be. So, so we'll just see. We'll see.
We've learned from recent experience that there are some people that have gotten bit parts in movies, and people notice them, and they got thrown into lead roles that they should not be in.
Okay.
And I'm not going to name names, but they're out
you're
there.
Talking about someone who was also in a movie with Ruby Rose?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
But they're out there. They're fantastic characters or supports, but it's a too big a stretch for them to carry something.
Exactly.
We'll see. I'm pulling for her, though.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I know that's important to her, but,
Okay, anyway. Next show I want to talk about is also on the CW, Nancy Drew.
Yeah, this is interesting.
We've had 2 episodes of this. The chick who plays Nancy Drew is Kennedy McCann. I've never seen her in anything. The only other person that I know of from anything else is Scott Wolf. Thank you, Bailey Salinger from Party of 5. He plays her dad, which, seeing all these, like Dougray Scott and Scott Wolf and, even going to Riverdale with like Luke Perry playing a father, like all these people that are my people playing parents. It's weird.
It's part of the aging process.
I don't like it.
You just need to come to terms with it.
Except Scott Wolf still looks exactly the same.
But he's a definite minority because most people do not.
Right. So anyway, I am loving Nancy Drew.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I am telling everyone I know, and I know there are people who won't watch it because it is the teenagery CW thing.
Well, and it's a little bit progressive because I caught 5 minutes of this show too, and I came in and she was on top of a guy, and they were obviously in mid something, and
I was waiting to see how you were going to finish it. Something.
Yeah, they were having happy times, and I was like, wow, this is not the Nancy Drew I grew up with. So
I didn't grow up with a Nancy Drew, so I don't have any previous knowledge.
I came in on the end of the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew was on the Hardy Boys?
No.
Oh, the books.
Well, that would have set the tone for this new show if she was on the Hardy Boys, but no, she, at the same time, right? Coincidentally.
Yeah.
And they were 100% wholesome back then.
Okay.
You know, so this is...
Well, on the CW, you have to be a
And
certain
look,
way. All the kids on CW
hold
are
on,
getting at
before
it.
you or the person listening to this starts to get the wrong idea, I'm fine with it. It wasn't...
No one
Well, I didn't want you to misunderstand where I was going with this.
yeah,
I wasn't, you know, missing the old days where this would have never happened. I'm fine with it. It's 100% fine. People need to understand that these shows are
she's
updated.
19.
Well,
Hello.
But what you need to be aware of is these are updated shows for an old character, and some people
Right.
are just going to,
Right.
you know,
Sure.
not have it.
Yeah. But for me, I was interested because I knew Nancy Drew solved mysteries, and that's what I love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, cool. And it's more than that. There's like a ghost, like there's Sea Witch ghost thing, and her parents, when she was little, saw her parents burying a trunk that she finds now with a bloody dress in it, and so there's this whole mystery of that, as well as she's trying to figure out who killed this woman in the very first episode. So it's like, and she's got all these friends that work with her. You know, you have to have the Scooby Gang, which I take from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's what her friends called themselves after Scooby and the gang. And so I really like all the other people that are helping her that she works with. And so they're all kind of involved. They're all suspects for this murder, and they're all helping her try to solve it. They're all very interesting characters. They have their own stories. Her dad obviously has something weird going on because she said to him, I found this bloody dress in the attic, and he was like, oh, that was a prop I used to scare your mother. Like a horrible story. But then at the end, he's burning it. So it's like, okay, there is something good going on here. She keeps seeing this ghost, which is also just this lovely little, like she's looking in a reflection of a mirror, and then this ghost appears behind her. So it's like, it's a mixture of the horror genre and the mystery genre, and I'm so happy about it.
Is it a scary ghost?
It's a scary ghost because they have very scary sounds with it, and it is a ghost that is, you know, deteriorated.
Been through something, huh? Okay. This ghost isn't aging well.
Yeah, but it's just like, I really like it. She's really good. This girl, Kennedy McCann, is carrying the show very well. I really like it's going to sound like a really old word. I like the moxie of Nancy Drew.
Whoa, moxie. Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is, I've never read books. I've never known anything else about Nancy Drew, so I don't know. I assume this is how the character has always been. But I'm enjoying the heck out of it. And again, it could be ruined. You know, they could solve the mystery too soon. I mean, my theory is we have to go all season, and we'll find out at the end what really happened.
Sure.
Then they've got to figure out a second season, because that's what Riverdale went through. The first season was so good. The mystery was so good. The second season was...
Well,
so,
bless
you know.
you. So here's it seems to me kind of like it's this own show, but they used a name from the past to bring some kind of recognition to it.
Well, they even bring up, because there's that one movie that came out last year, Nancy Drew and the Case of the Hidden Staircase or something like that. And that starred that girl.
Don't worry about it.
She was in it. I really love the girl.
Okay.
So I saw 10 minutes of that movie, but I assume that's a book, because in the very beginning of this Nancy Drew series, they reference that case. So they are trying to
build on something.
That character.
Okay.
This Sea Witch case that she's looking into from 20 years ago or whatever it was, that might be a book. I really don't know, because I just don't have that knowledge. So they might be using cases from the books.
Yeah. So what I was getting at is because it's a reboot of an old character. Right, for this generation, there's probably a lot of stuff that they can pull from and just update it and sensationalize it for today's crowd.
Right.
Yeah. So they've
it's just
probably
like Sherlock. I mean, Sherlock used all the books of Sherlock.
Sure.
It was just modern.
Right.
So they might be doing that. I just can't say whether or not, because I don't know. But
I'm gonna hope this turns into something as good as Sherlock.
I love the show. It's a it's well done. The people in it are good. I'm enjoying where it's going. I hope it stays this way all season because I'm really excited about it.
Okay,
that's probably that and Prodigal Son right now are my two favorite new shows that I'm telling everyone.
That's the Michael Sheen?
Watch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next, I do just want to touch on Arrow real quick. We've only had one episode, so, it's ending. We only get 10 episodes this season. I'm not even sure. I don't even want to know because it makes me too sad. And we know that last season, Oliver Queen left with the Monitor, and this is going to sound crazy to people who don't watch, because there's a crisis of Earths coming. All the Earths are going to be destroyed. And Oliver made a deal with the Monitor that he would sacrifice his life to keep his family alive. So what we found in this first episode.
You're right about that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to people who don't watch.
In this first episode, it was so wonderful. It was, he's in order to collect things to save all Earths, he had to go to another Earth to get something, and in doing so he became that Earth's Oliver Queen. And we revisited his mom, his best friend Tommy, Malcolm Merlin, like all these old characters were back that have been gone for seasons, and it was so well done. It was lovely and made you feel so many things. And I don't know, this is leading up to the crossover, which is going to be the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is a special comic book series. And we're also seeing in The Flash, he's also dealing with this crisis that's coming as well. And that's going to be the end of Arrow. And we assume the end of Oliver Queen. We don't know, but we will see. So that's what we're leading up to, but it looks like these episodes that they're giving us are very exciting. I think they're doing kind of a farewell tour.
Sure, that sounds like a good, clever way to bring back a lot of,
I'm really happy about it. The only sad thing is that Felicity left. I'm hoping she at least shows up for the finale. I want to see her and Oliver just reunite, and then I'm happy. So that's that. I just wanted to touch on Arrow for those that are fans and how wonderful this is and how sad I am.
Okay, so other Earths, is that kind of alternate universes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. You don't have to go into detail.
Like Supergirl is on a different Earth than Arrow and the Flash. But they can go visit each other.
Oh, that's nice.
It's too much to get into.
That's all right. That's why I said, don't worry about it. I just, put it in terms I could understand.
Yeah. In our Arrowverse, we have been exposed to many other Earths, and they visit for different reasons or bring people over to our Earth to help or whatever it is.
But you have to be super or brought by a super to...
No, they have a little bridge thing that they open up a portal, basically.
And anybody can wander through.
Oh, no. Just our people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I even asked.
Okay. Next show we want to talk about is Limetown.
Okay.
This is on Facebook Watch. This stars Jessica Biel.
Oh yeah.
And Stanley Tucci's in it too. Okay. So the first 2 episodes are already up on Facebook Watch. Pause this and go watch them right now. We'll wait.
Wow.
Okay. So Limetown was a podcast. I did not listen to it, and now I'm really, really glad I didn't, because I get to enjoy the mystery while I'm watching this. Jessica Biel, if everyone doesn't know, she produced The Sinner, and she was so good in that first season, and she's producing this as well, and it's so interesting. So on this show, she plays basically a podcast journalist working for, they call it APR, like NPR. And she's investigating this mystery of Limetown that I think it was 15 years prior. This town had been put together in the middle of Tennessee, and it was a research facility town. And there were 326 people who lived in this town, men, women, and children. And one day a 911 call came across, someone calling from Limetown, send all your people, send the army, send everything. It's going crazy here. Hurry, hurry, hurry. The line goes dead. The police and everyone shows up. There's a private security guard force in front that won't let them in. For 3 days, there's a standoff. And then finally, the security team just leaves. The police go in and the town is empty. Everyone's disappeared. No trace of the 326 people. They find that there's caves and everything underneath all the houses. No one knows what the research was that these people were there working on. The research facility has been emptied. And so she shows that in history, of course, the entire world was on this. It was crazy. And then over the years, it just dissipated in the news. It got covered by other things, obviously.
Sure.
So she's now, her uncle was Stanley Tucci. He was there. He's one of the missing people. So it's always bothered her as to what's going on. So now she's investigating. During this investigation, which her boss is like, you've got nothing. You're just retelling history. What's the point of this? She gets a call and it's claiming that this person is a survivor from Limetown. And so she goes and meets this woman, and it is the craziest thing that happens there. And this woman is just like, if this, whatever, I will point you to the next survivor, and we're only talking to you, and this sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
So
that's interesting.
It's crazy. The survivor that she goes meets can't remember anything, has to read this thing. And she's like, I can only answer these questions. And as long as you don't, deviate from this, then you'll get to meet the next person. And, ask me the right questions. And Jessica's asking questions, and she's like, you're not asking the right questions. What is your problem? You have to figure this out. So it's like, there is such a mystery here, and it's being told in such a wonderful way. I'm sure the podcast was just as good. But I'm so glad I don't know the answer, because I'm much more a visual person. This is much better for me. They took us inside the town. There were no locks on the doors. There was something very interesting going on there, and we don't know what. And the person, the head doctor who started this town, when the cops went into the town, he was found bound to like a flagpole, and he had been burned.
Yikes.
And that's the only thing they know. So yeah, I mean, it's compelling. The episodes are only 30 minutes long. So I don't know if Facebook's going to release 1 or 2 a week, but they did release the first 2 this week, and I'm convincing John to watch it.
Yeah, so that actually sounds a little bit interesting.
It's super interesting. I mean,
if it's half hour, I mean,
right. And Jessica Biel is so good. She's just so good. It sounds stupid to say, but I'm so proud of the work that she's done these last few years. Like, she's just turned into this really cool storyteller. Yeah.
Good.
So anyway, Limetown on Facebook Watch. It's obviously free. You can watch on your computer. Everything on Amazon, Apple TV, they all have Facebook Watch apps that you can just download and watch this every week.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, go
just a second. Sorry. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It's for some reason I sound different now to myself.
Probably because the AC cut on over you, so you're not hearing yourself.
I hear you normally, but I think it's like I hear myself.
Yeah, no, you're normal.
Through my...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
guess. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Real quick, I just want to talk about The Politician, which is a Ryan Murphy show on Netflix. It came out like a month ago. I'm still struggling to get through it, people. And here's the only reason I want to keep watching is just because of the cast. I mean, Ben Platt, Gwyneth Paltrow, Bette Midler, Judith Light, Lucy Boynton.
Is it a movie?
It's a show. It's a series.
Series? Okay.
Yeah. 10 episodes. Who else? Zoe Deutsch, who she, again, was the only reason I was enjoying watching any of it. Jessica Lange, Dylan McDermott was in parts of it. January Jones was in there. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's pointless. And I keep going, well, maybe they're going to tell me the point of this by the time we get to the end. I've heard there's a second season coming out. I don't know. And it's like, so Ben Platt is like this crazed, high school kid who wants to be president of the United States. And it's all about him being president of his high school. And it's like, it's an insane thing. And I don't know, I've gone back and forth. Like, are they using this as a metaphor for our real elections? Because it's like they have polls and they have marketing services and they have all this sort of stuff. And these kids are completely obsessed with becoming this high school student council. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's really weird.
Right.
And they're doing horrible things to people. And then Zoe Deutsch plays a girl who has cancer, but her grandmother, Jessica Lange, has Munchausen's by proxy. So she's been keeping her sick.
Jesus.
So, you know, so there's that. And then, like, and look, it's a great cast. There's lots of good people in here. Everyone is, you know, it's very Ryan Murphy. So everyone is represented. There's a lot of good sort of that. Talks about people who have money because these are all really rich kids in Santa Barbara. Man, I can't. And now the last time, I think I have 2 episodes left, and we've gotten past high school now and where these kids are in college, and it's still just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
Well,
so
I got to be honest. You kind of lost me when you said Ben Platt acting crazy. I can't.
he's not acting crazy. He's this really determined, ambitious kid who will do anything to be president of his high school, which is weird. Like, I had heard Ryan Murphy had kind of based it off of Tracy Flick from Election, but it's not that enjoyable.
Right.
It's really
Right.
weird. And like, he's got these 2 best friends that are helping him with his election they've all been working on this since elementary school.
Right.
Who?
Yeah. That.
Like, look, I thought I wanted to get into politics when I was in high school, so I didn't want to do anything wrong so it wouldn't be used against me. But these kids kind of said the same thing, but it's like 100 times worse than that, you know? So I don't really know. And Gwyneth Paltrow plays his mom, which again is also really weird. She's married to Bob Balaban, but she falls in love with Martina Navratilova. And it's just like, there's all this stuff going on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So Bob Balaban is in this?
Yes.
And Martina Navratilova is in this?
Yes. There's no one that is. It's Ryan Murphy. He's got them all.
Wow.
It's great.
Holy.
And there are little nuggets of like, oh, that was enjoyable. Or they'll end this episode really well that makes me get into the next one. And then, and they're long episodes. They're close to an hour and it feels it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I don't know that I'm ever going to finish this show because now Apple TV starts in less than 2 weeks. Disney Plus comes out after that. You know, I don't know that I'm going to get back to this, but if anyone out there has finished it and enjoyed it, could you tell me why and if I should finish it?
Explain yourself.
Yeah. I mean, there's just too much good like this weekend alone I have 2 streaming shows I need to watch.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway, so I just wanted to touch on that because I hadn't before. I kept hoping I would finish it and I just haven't. So that is it. We are going to move on to our Actors Corner with Cameron Diaz.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so you know, this was hard for me. I am kind of a Cameron Diaz super fan.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I really, really like her. And I know there are people who don't. My sister is not one of them. I really like her. And I miss her. And I've been saying this for years now. It's been over 5 years since she released anything. She said she was retiring. I just keep hoping something's going to come to her that really, she can't turn away.
It's really weird because this is the first time that, we've done something where I've had to look up on IMDb and there wasn't like a bunch of stuff in process or post-production or coming next year schedule, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, 2014, done.
Right. And I kind of I thought she would get into producing at least and like bring us some really good stuff and she's literally taken everything off and good for her.
Disappeared. Yeah. I mean, I applaud her for being able to do it.
It sounds like she's happy and doing other things, but I miss her and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Well, that's
so this was hard for me. The love, like Secretly Love, all of these are on top for me. So I just kind of stuck them in categories, but
sure,
I love them all. So, okay. So Cameron Diaz, movies you love.
So I got to 2. One of them is The Holiday.
Yes, I have that as well.
Jude Law and Jack Black and
yeah, we watched that multiple times, especially, and it's going to start coming on now. Pretty frequently for Christmas. So
it's so many good parts.
Yeah,
it's just great.
It is.
And The Other Woman.
I have that under my love too. Yeah,
Yep.
that's another one. I stop and watch it, and it's it's all three of them. They're funny.
Yeah.
And it's funny to make such a situation light and wonderful and really about women, which you'll see that pattern happen so much in her movies. A lot like with Drew Barrymore and stuff, is to make sure that the women aren't hating on each other and that they're supporting each other. And so I like that. So also in The Holiday, I loved that aspect too, between her and Kate Winslet.
Right.
Even though they didn't know each other. And then my third one under movies I love, In Her Shoes. Based off of a book with her and Toni Collette. I love that movie. Shirley MacLaine. And she's really good in it. Again, someone that could be so annoying and you just don't want to win at all. But the way she plays it, you want her character to win and come out on top.
Yeah, for a very callous person, you find yourself pulling for her.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yep. Okay, movies you like.
There's Something About Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it's classic.
It is a classic, and she's good in it, and I really like Ben Stiller. But anytime you get a cameo from Brett Favre, as a Packer fan, it's like, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that movie.
Yeah, I didn't put that movie anywhere in my list, and it was weird to me that it didn't make my list because it is a classic. You can always watch it and still laugh. And again, that whole thing of There's Something About Mary, she has something in that movie where you're just like, yeah, I get why all these guys are falling over themselves.
So this is, thinking about this movie, it kind of created a new category for me. There's certain movies like Shawshank or Close Encounters or something like that where if I'm flipping through the channels and it's on, I gotta watch it.
Right.
There are certain movies where there are things on. I'll just if somebody has it on, I'll ask them to turn it. Right. This is one of those movies that I won't necessarily stop and watch it.
Right.
But if somebody has it on, I get into it.
You get into it. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's one of those.
Sure.
And my other one is Night and Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put that under Secretly Love for some reason. I think I still have my hidden shame of Tom Cruise love.
I almost did that, but then I thought, no, there's something else there.
I enjoy the crap out of that movie.
Yeah,
they're really funny together.
Yes.
He's funny in that movie, and she, it's action packed. I love it.
Yeah. I think people have developed a thing for Tom Cruise, kind of an anti thing where they don't give him credit. And he is
shame on them.
Exactly.
Even though, look, I compartmentalize. So,
there are all kinds of things you could drag on him for. And
as far as someone in the film industry and an actor, I can enjoy him and love everything he does and how hard he works.
Sure.
Himself and personal life we put aside.
If he starts to talk to you about religion, okay, turn off. But as you said, in the industry and on the screen, he does not get credit for being as funny as he is.
Yeah.
And this movie really, I think, accentuated it that he can do comedy.
Well, go watch Tropic Thunder any day of the week.
Well, but that's him being like
funny.
Somebody. Well, it is, but he's like a completely different character.
But that was him. That costume, everything. That was all he thought of all that.
Yeah.
But in this, to be able to do the action and the comedy in one movie with him was really fun to watch. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so my likes, I have Shrek. All of them, but those are just great.
Yep.
Charlie's Angels, we've had this conversation before. For me, both of them are on this list. I love those two movies. I love the women in them. I love the messages that they had. No one will ever take that away from me. The new Charlie's Angels comes out in a few weeks. I'm excited for this one as well, because it's not a replacement. It is just a new crew of Charlie's Angels after My Girls from the 90s. So, and then my third is What Happens in Vegas.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
Oh,
yeah.
That's another one you and I watch often.
If it's on.
Yeah.
That's
it's funny. Again, and this one is more the ensemble because Lake Bell is her best friend.
Sure.
And Rob Corddry is his best friend.
Yes.
They have some of the funniest parts.
So the combination of those four is definitely greater than
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
That the four of them were that was the highlight of the movie. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, movies you hate.
I have nothing.
I don't have anything either.
I couldn't find anything in her entire list that I didn't like.
I either haven't seen it or I liked it.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that. Okay.
Yep.
Secretly Love?
Charlie's Angels.
Oh, you're such a poop. He gives me crap for Charlie's Angels all the time. And now you're going to tell me you secretly love it?
Well,
I'll put it on. He's like, change this. And oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, explain yourself, sir.
Look, they're good action movies. Completely over the top a lot of the times, but it's good. It's you can watch it.
Yes, you can. And you will.
And I do.
Now. I will never change it again. Was that it?
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, so I had Night and Day, and then my second is The Sweetest Thing. Oh, love this movie. Her and Christina Applegate, Selma Blair. It was one of those first movies where women were R-rated and raunchy and being women, really. It was one of those first times we were seeing women behave that way, kind of the bad moms thing and all of that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I love this movie because it was one of those first times we were seeing chicks being chicks. Mm-hmm. And it's a great little romantic comedy, but it's all about their friendship, and it cracks me up. And there's a funny song in the middle, and Selma Blair's hysterical, and yeah. So
okay.
It's one of those.
Cool.
Embarrassed you haven't seen?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I put that on my list. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. And people talk about it, reference it a lot.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it. I'm not sure I want to.
No, I don't.
It's just...
Otherwise I would have.
I wouldn't say embarrassed. I'm just... Every once in a while it's like, yeah, maybe I should see that. But...
Any others?
No.
So I had that and Gangs of New York, which we've talked about before. That one I'm more embarrassed that I haven't seen because it is Scorsese and all that, but not enough to go and watch it. So, yeah.
That reminds me, what's his face who said he was going to do that last movie and then stopped?
Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, I guess he did stop because I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, Phantom Thread was his last one.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Anything you want to add to your watch list?
I did put Minority Report.
She wasn't really in that, but
okay.
Yeah, I think she was like on the bus or something.
Well, that could be. So,
you haven't seen Minority Report?
So there's two. I almost put another one here. Vanilla Sky.
You haven't seen Vanilla Sky?
No. So is she in that one more?
Yeah, that's
Which
one.
is the better movie?
Oh, for you, Minority Report. You would not enjoy Vanilla Sky. It's quite
trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's him and Nicole Kidman, right? Tom Cruise. Who's in
Penelope Cruz.
Who else is in it?
Vanilla Sky. Tom Cruise is in it.
Yeah.
Penelope Cruz and her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I didn't have anything to add to my watch list, but I am going to talk about honorable mentions. First time we saw her, The Mask. I know you don't like Jim Carrey and that sort of thing, but I love that movie, and she was adorable in it. She's the One. Great movie. Feeling Minnesota. Great movie. My Best Friend's Wedding. I mean,
yeah.
I know you still haven't seen it. I keep trying to get you to watch it.
I've seen enough parts of it. I think that I feel like I've seen it.
You haven't.
Okay.
But love the movie. She is hysterical in that. She cracks me up. Something About Mary I Had. Very Bad Things. Being John Malkovich. She's so good in that. Vanilla Sky. I liked her in that. The weird little movie, The Box, where, they push a button and someone's going to die. I enjoyed that movie.
Sounds awful.
Bad Teacher. She was all, the string of movies that mostly you and I named, I think is the reason she retired, because she wasn't getting enough of the Being John Malkovich's, but
sure.
I enjoy them and she's good in them.
Sex Tape.
What to Expect When You're Inspecting. I'm just going to say I miss her. I hope she comes back. And she could come back now and be at an age where she could maybe do more of like, what Jennifer Aniston's doing versus maybe some of these rom-com things that she felt like she was getting pigeonholed. I don't know. I don't know her, but I do miss her. I hope she comes back.
You don't know her life.
I don't know her life. But I wish her all the best, whatever she does.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. There is a lot coming up. So we'll see when we're back. Hopefully next week. I think there's a lot going on this week. So
okay.
we will deal with that then.
Yep.
Okay, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, I'll be watching my stories.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, bye. You gonna say bye?
Bye.